We are in the arcade part of Innovations Branding House. This is a Bally Captain Fantastic pinball machine from 1976. So 2 years older than me, 2 years younger than me, something like that. I'm not a math guy, but here's the deal. These things are special to me. I own about 30 of them. I think they're amazing, especially these electromechanical ones, because there's no computer chips in them. It's just all wires and magnets. That's kind of appealing. From a brand standpoint, it gets even cooler. There's something called co-branding, and this game, Captain Fantastic, was the second ever game to be co-branded. So here's what used to happen. Back in the 50s and 60s, they would get a pinball machine, and instead of putting the movie My Fair Lady on it, they would make up another name. It was like the generic version of it. In that example, it was called Mayfair, and it looked like the real movie, but it wasn't the real movie. It was a knockoff. So all pinball machines did knockoffs. And then what happened was there was a movie called Tommy that came out, The Pinball Wizard, and that is the first game that a pinball company reached out to the movie and said, hey, what if we do this? What if we put the real movie on the glass? Now that pinball machine is at my house, but it looks like this one in structure and frame, and this company, Bally, is the one that did it. So this is the second one. The first one was Tommy, but there was a benefit across the board, because then people would want to see, in this case, they wanted to see the movie Captain Fantastic, and they wanted to play the pinball machine. So what I later started to discover is that co-branding has to make sense. Like, there's some great examples of co-branding. One of them is Red Bull and GoPro. So they kind of ganged up, and it made sense, right? Because if you drink Red Bull, you might be kind of crazy and like to jump off mountains. So it made a really good pairing. So pinball's not much different, because, let's see, we said, I think I was talking to someone earlier, and I said, you know what, there's probably not a chance that they make a pinball machine framed after Third Eye Blind. Not gonna happen. Cool music, but for some reason, when they, and remember this is in the 70s, but today, when they co-brand pinball machines, it's gonna make sense. In other words, the pinball machines that are out now that are new are Guns N' Roses, they're Foo Fighters, Metallica, like the list goes on, like stadium stuff, right? Rock and roll. So is it a coincidence that these games come out now, like in the last 2 or 3 years, for pinball machines, and they know their demographic? So is it weird that they're picking a demographic that wants to relive some of their childhood, right, or youth? Yeah, the good old days. As well as now they might have saved up a little bit of money to buy literally a $10,000 pinball machine, a new $10,000 pinball machine. It's like they kind of figured it out. So another way to look at it is the minute one brand identifies that their core audience exists in another space, that's the time to think about co-branding. Anyway, I was excited about it. I've been wanting to share my pinball collection here at the office with you guys for a while now. So yeah, that is it.